Hi there. So we are on the top 10 tips to identify your ideal career, and today we're talking about the last 4 tips, tips 7 through 10. So let's rock and roll, let's get started. So tip number 7 to help you identify and clarify your career direction is to beat negative thinking. Beat negative thinking. This may seem like a simple one or kind of like obvious, right? But this is so important. Don't discount the importance of this one, because this is actually the biggest obstacle I see in my clients. I see so many people let fear stand in the way of them identifying their ideal career and making it a reality. It's the biggest obstacle that occurs in my clients. Perception is reality, right? So realize that if you are telling yourself negative things about having a job that you love, like it's not possible, I'm not educated enough, or don't have the right experience, or whatever it is, that it's not going to happen. Bottom line, you need to think positively about your career transition and be optimistic about having a job that you love, or else it is not going to happen. So beat negative thinking. And homework assignment number 1 from this call today, or this video, is to think about tonight, what is one negative thing or negative thought or belief that you have about having a career you love, whatever it is. It could be it's unrealistic. I'm too old. I don't have the right work experience. Whatever it is, identify one thing that you realize you think that is negative about your ideal career, and identify a new positive affirmation, something that you can say instead to yourself that makes you feel better about it, that is positive instead of negative. Beat negative thinking. Tip number 8 is to set goals and create a transition plan. Set goals and create a transition plan. You wouldn't make any other change in your life or make a transition or take action on something without a goal, right? So the same thing applies for your career transition, and it's even more important with your career, because career transition is a big deal for people. So you need to set specific, measurable, action-oriented goals. You need to know where you're going, right? Or else you're not going to get there. And number 2, you need to have a plan. I can't tell you how many times people say, I want to move towards my ideal career, but they don't have specific, tangible steps to help them get there. You need to have this written down somewhere so that you can see it. I used to have a boss that would tell me, it's not real until it's in writing. And she was right. So not only set goals and create a transition plan, but write them down so you can see it on paper. It makes it more real and more likely to happen. Tip number 9 is also really important, because I see a lot of people when they come to me, they say, okay, I want to know what my ideal job is at the end of this, and I want to know A to Z, all the action steps I need to take to get there. What is the plan from beginning to end? And listen, guys, that is not realistic. It's not going to happen that way. Career transition can take time. It can take years, depending on what your situation is. And it's a very organic process. It is not something that you can control completely and control each step as you go. So what you need to do, once you know what your ideal job is, you need to just get started. If you have a gut instinct about something, go take a class, find a mentor, do an informational interview with someone to find out more about that industry. Just take a step. Don't let not knowing exactly what steps you're going to take after that hold you back from moving forward. I didn't know 100% that I wanted to be a coach. I felt pretty strongly about it, like 75%, that it was a fit for me. And what I did at that point was I took a step. I took coaching classes to learn more. I got a few coaching clients to see how that felt and started my business from there. You have to trust yourself and know that each step of the way, you will know the next best step to take. So just get started. And tip number 10 is to get support during this process. This one is vitally important. So why do you think that Weight Watchers groups exist for people? It's because they work. It's the same thing with career change. It's a big deal, like we've talked about. You're going to hit obstacles and roadblocks along the way. So you absolutely have to have support as you go through your career transition, because stuff's going to come up. You're going to freak out sometimes. There are going to be naysayers that say this isn't possible. So getting support is a vitally important part of the process. Get support wherever you can, a friend, a colleague, former coworker, family member, career coach like me, through a coaching group. Whatever it is, get support, because support can make the difference. It can really make or break the difference between achieving your goals and not achieving them and staying in the same place. It can mean the difference between those two things. It's a big deal. So tip number 10 is to get support. So that was the top 10 tips to identify your ideal career. I genuinely hope, you got valuable information and insight out of this, and you have specific, tangible steps for you to take action on in the next week. So tune in next week. We'll be talking more about identifying your ideal career and clarifying your career direction. Have a great week.